This is the People Before Politics show, broadcast every Sunday at 6 p.m. Hosts Damon K. Jones and AJ Woodson bring you the news that impacts our community. Join us for unfiltered, unapologetic coverage of the stories that matter most. Black Westchester magazine presents the People Before Politics show, the news with the Black point of view.
Got a sweet tooth? Come to Cupcake Cutie Boutique in Mount Vernon, where every day is a reason to celebrate. Fresh homemade cupcakes baked with love. Stop by 8 South 6th Avenue and taste the cuteness today. Are you ready to put your brand in front of the people who matter? Black Westchester magazine is your platform. With over 90,000 monthly website readers and more than 250,000 YouTube viewers, every month we give your business unmatched exposure. From email blasts straight to our subscribers, to video commercials, website promotions, and targeted campaigns, we've got the tools to help you connect, engage, and grow. Whether you're a local business, a national brand, a rising entrepreneur, or just promoting an upcoming event, Black Westchester is where culture, community, and commerce meet. Contact us today or scan the QR code and start building with us. Don't just advertise, be part of the movement, be part of Black Westchester, be Blacktastic. Black America, rep the movement. Get your official Black Westchester merch today. Hoodies, tees, and more at blackwestchestermerch.shop. Wear your voice, make a statement. Damon K. Jones exposes the lies and challenges the gatekeepers in Black politics in his powerful book, Emotional Politics and Logical Failure. Black America needs fewer emotions and more outcomes. Our communities deserve better. On sale now, get the book or audiobook on Amazon, From the Streets of Westchester to the Heart of Hip Hop. Discover AJ Woodson's powerful collection. Black Westchester, the origin story. We got our own thing. Hip Hop from the 9, 1, 4, and Black Westchester celebrate Black women of Westchester. Available now at blackwestchester.com and on Amazon. Get your copies today. Tolerance is for Cowards by Damon K. Jones. This book is not anti-police, it's pro-community. Discover how the extended policing strategy empowers you to demand real public safety, justice, and accountability from your local police department. Because the Black community deserves good policing. On sale now on Amazon and Audible. Discover Jesus and Divine Black Masculinity by Damon K. Jones. This a bold blueprint to restore faith, manhood, and purpose in Black America. Because the Black community needs good Black men. Available now on Amazon. If you found this video informative, don't forget to like and share it with others who need to hear the truth. And for exclusive content and behind-the-scenes access, join the Black Westchester Magazine YouTube membership club today. Your support helps us keep independent Black media strong. Big thank you for the Super Chat support. We appreciate your help in keeping the conversation and independent Black media strong. Black Westchester, it's the news with the Black point of view. It's Blacktastic.
Peace and blessings, everybody. Peace and blessings. This is Damon K. Jones here, and I am the publisher of Black Westchester magazine, and we are so blessed. We are here for another great Sunday to give you the news with the Black point of view, and it's a great time to be here. So we're going to be talking about today, we're going to be discussing the issue that we have been reporting about the toxic chemicals being burned in a medical waste plant in Mount Vernon. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about the NBA gambling ring. We're going to have a conversation about that. We're going to talk about the New York City mayor race. What's going on down there? Has anybody watched the last debate? We're going to play some segments from that. And we're going to talk about the latest with Tish James and her fraud case. Her alleged she's innocent until proven guilty, but we're going to have a discussion, about that, and we're going to have other topics. But to start it off, brothers and sisters, I'm bringing back tonight the scent of the day, because I love scents, I love colognes, I love people who enjoy smelling good. I think we all enjoy smelling good. I hope so. I hope we all enjoy smelling good. So the scent of today is, I don't know if y'all can see it. It's called Infinity Rose by Mason Alhambra. Infinity Rose. Now this is a unisex fragrance, and it's not for the kids. It's very mature. It's not real sweet. So fellas, you can rock this on date night. Women, you can rock this too. Sisters can rock this too. And fellas, you can rock this on date night. It's a great compliment getter. It is woody, it's floral. It's a spicy fragrance, warm blend of nutmeg, cinnamon, and sandalwood. And it's a great scent. And let me tell you, you are definitely getting your money's worth with this, because this will last to the next day. You put about 5 sprays on. I wouldn't put no more than 5 sprays, because this will last. And even if you put it on your clothes, it's going to last 2 days. But if you just put it on your skin, it's going to last the next day. Great scent trail when you walk into the room. See, I love colognes that give a scent trail, that you could smell me slightly if I'm on the other side of the room. If I walk past you, you could get a nice soft smell, because as we say in business, the first impression is the lasting impression. And one of the greatest impressions you can have is smelling good. So check this out. The link will be in the description. You could get it. I got the link for everybody to get in the description. And let me tell you, it's only $25. Can't beat that. People out here spending $400 or $500 for colognes and perfumes, and it ain't that time. It ain't that time to be doing all that. But anyway, that's the scent of the day. Infinity Rose by Mason Alhambra. The link is in the description. So we're not going to keep y'all. The first story I really want to talk about is what's going on in Mount Vernon with this medical waste plant. Now, a lot of people don't know, but there is a medical waste plant in Mount Vernon. And, I thought my partner would be here so I could upload the video, but I'm gonna play one of the reports so people can actually see. I'm gonna play one of the reports. We're gonna talk about it. And while it's playing, God willing, I'll be able to pull up the actual building. So check it out.
Ash that embeds deep into human lungs. According to the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency, these pollutants are among the most dangerous substances. For years, a quiet environmental crime has been unfolding in Mount Vernon, New York. Residents have watched a steady plume of smoke rise from an industrial site that should never have been permitted near homes, schools, and playgrounds. Behind that smoke lies a deeper truth, that a majority Black city led by Black elected officials is being poisoned by the very system claiming to protect it. The poison in the air, what's burning inside Mount Vernon's city limits, is more than waste. It's the health of an entire community. The alleged incineration of medical waste releases a cocktail of toxins, dioxins, mercury, lead, and microscopic ash that embeds deep into human lungs? According to the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency, these pollutants are among the most dangerous substances on Earth, linked to cancer, reproductive damage, and immune system failure. These poisons don't vanish when the smoke clears. They settle into soil, drift through open windows, and cling to the same playgrounds where our children play. Even at trace levels, they damage the human body over time, invisible, odorless, and deadly. Mount Vernon's health crisis didn't start with the smoke. It's the latest chapter in a long story of neglect. The city of over 80,000 residents does not have a full functioning hospital. Let that sink in. A city that once had one of the most respected hospitals in Westchester County now sends its sick and elderly miles away for emergency care. For years, Mount Vernon Hospital has been stripped down, neglected, and dismantled, while local politicians offered photo ops instead of solutions. Ambulances raced to New Rochelle, Bronxville, or the Bronx, while residents in cardiac arrest, labor, or trauma lose precious minutes, sometimes their lives. This collapse has deep racial consequences. The New York State Health Equity Report shows Mount Vernon has higher preventable hospitalization rates and elevated premature deaths before age 65 compared to other Westchester communities. Residents experience excess mortality from heart disease, stroke, and diabetes, according to the New York State Nurses Association. These are not random statistics. They are the predictable results of systemic neglect. Meanwhile, wealthier, majority white cities like Scarsdale and Bronxville, less than 10 minutes away, have thriving hospitals and better access to specialists. Montefiore's own restructuring widened these disparities, quietly closing services in Mount Vernon while expanding in White Plains. This is not just poor planning, it's political apartheid with black faces. A system where elected officials who look like the community still govern with the same disregard as those who once ignored us.
Didn't really understand.
I was trying to add my brother AJ. Welcome.
What's up? What's up?
Well, yeah, so that video, we are discussing the actual, I like this layout better. We're discussing the actual alleged, well, not alleged, because after I wrote the article, a lot of people came in and said that they've been complaining about that plant for years. And
what plant? I'm sorry.
The medical burning plant, the plant that burns the medical waste.
Where at?
In Mount Vernon.
Oh,
Mount Vernon. In Mount Vernon. And someone sent me the actual, I'm trying to bring it up right now, the actual picture of the, now I don't see it, you know. Oh, here we go. Let me see if I could bring this up. So that's the plant. Burning the medical waste right there. So that's the actual plant right there. And that burning of medical waste has been going on for a long time. And as the video stated, the New York State Health Equity Report shows that Mount Vernon has a higher preventable hospitalization rate and elevated premature deaths before the age of 65 compared to other Westchester communities. Right? It says Mount Vernon residents experience excess mortality from heart disease, stroke, and diabetes, according to the New York State Nurses Association. So when, like, I talked about this before, AJ, when I said this is what we're seeing is racism by zip code. And when you look at how Black communities are treated health-wise compared to white communities, and in Westchester County, like, this is just not Westchester County, this is across the spectrum in Black communities throughout the United States. But when we see cities like Mount Vernon that have a history of Black elected officials from the top to the bottom, all the way up to the state, represented from the state. And we still have these issues. And this is not a jab, or this is not an attack on any of those elected officials. This is just having real conversation, because there are real consequences that comes from lack of action, lack of having open discussions, and lack of moving on issues. So when you look at the actual numbers, not feelings, the numbers of if Mount Vernon has higher asthma rates in its residents than other cities, and then you have a plant that has been burning medical waste for decades right in the city, and nobody has addressed it. You know, this is very serious, because some people is walking around. Listen, my mother-in-law has COPD. I know a lot of people with asthma in Mount Vernon. Like, is that the reason? Is that one of the reasons? See, we have to talk about it, and we have to discuss it. Because if we don't discuss it, the basically that we're doing is just killing our people. The same with highways going through black neighborhoods and cities across the country. Absolutely. Absolutely. So this is something that needs to be addressed, not just on a city level, but on a county level, and even on the state level. When we're talking about health and wellness, AJ, you've been reporting the issue with the hospital. You know, I can't see how a city with 80,000 people, and they talk about they don't have no money, but Montefiore has bought up most of Post Road in White Plains.
Yeah, Montefiore had no intention on building and maintaining a functioning hospital in Mount Vernon.
Right, because they put all their money into White Plains.
They actually, in the reports that we had, when they first brought Mount Vernon Hospital, we were told that they were instruct ambulances to divert all traffic to Bronxville. I mean, to the other Montefiore's, New Rochelle, and the Bronx, from the people from Mount Vernon. Tell the ambulance, take them directly there. Then what they told the state, because they wanted to close the hospital, they told the state that nobody's using the hospital. They were diverting all the traffic away from Mount Vernon Hospital for Mount Vernon. And then they told the state nobody's using the hospital, and they was trying to close it. I was part of a coalition, the Save and Transform Mount Vernon Hospital coalition. And, we fought back because they were trying to put the urgent care on. They were going to close the hospital and just put an urgent care on Sanford Boulevard. And they supposedly are doing things to fix, but from what I heard from people who work for the hospital and some of the nurses and stuff, I mean, they put a fresh coat of paint on the hallway, and, they did like stuff like that, but they still haven't. We don't have we didn't have a trauma center, and there's no place where you need a trauma center more than Mount Vernon. I've heard from people who, shooting victims who, and people who had cardiac arrest, health issues like that, heart attacks, they died on the way to the Bronx and New Rochelle because there was no trauma, in Mount Vernon Hospital. So those are some of the things that I've been on the forefront of fighting for. And I don't know where I haven't really followed up in the last year or so. I don't know where we are on getting the services we need in the hospital that was promised. These were promised, but I don't think they have delivered. Montefiore has not delivered.
Well, here's the problem was, and I'm not going to call names today, but people just look at the timeline and what happened, and then you know who was in office and who wasn't in office. They allowed it to happen. They sat back and they played theater, and they allowed it to happen. Now, you just said that they knew when they came and bought that. They allowed it to happen. And the fact that at that time, I believe she was Lieutenant Governor, Kathy Hochul, when she went up, and I reported on it, when she went upstate to a city that had either equal or less population,
like Rochester or something. It was
and built a new hospital.
It was they had far lesser population than
and built a new hospital and left Mount Vernon with a and here's the sad thing. There's no maternity ward in Mount Vernon, so technically our children actually born in Mount Vernon.
I don't think anybody's been born in Mount Vernon since like 1980 something. I don't remember the exact date. Exactly. But anybody was born after 85 or something like that was not born in Mount Vernon.
Right. You're not even born in the city. So all y'all talking about you born in Mount Vernon, if you born after 86, you're really not born in Mount Vernon.
Yeah, it's 80 something. I don't want to get on the
in the late 80s. It's the late 80s. Right? It's gonna be Daz is 37. He was born in Mount Vernon Hospital.
And my daughter was 89. He was born 88, right?
Yeah.
So 88, 89. So then let's just say the 90s. Let's just stay with the 90s.
Right. It has to be around the 90s. Utica just got a new hospital after a billionaire with ties to the city and has about 65,000 people, about the same size. Yeah. And we have a high population of seniors, about 18-20% of seniors in Mount Vernon.
Also, the number of Mount Vernon, where they say, I think 80-something thousand, only less than 60% of the people filled out the census. So that number is far greater than over 100,000. It's just everybody didn't fill out the census. Probably like 100, 120,000 or something, but less than, like maybe 60% of the people actually filled out the census.
Right. And this is very serious, but I don't know. People in Mount Vernon keep voting for the same people and expecting a different results. That's insanity, ladies and gentlemen. That is complete insanity on the people who come out and vote. Like, I'm really tired of seeing everybody complaining on Facebook. Everybody complaining on Facebook, and when it's time to come out and vote, nobody mobilizes to get good people in that's gonna fix these problems. If the lack of sewers and the rodents that's underneath these buildings, because the sewers is all messed up, you got damn near blocks collapsing in. It's crazy. And there's no addressing these issues on how they're going to get fixed or when they're going to get fixed. You go in the bottom of some of these buildings right on Fifth Avenue, and if it rains, forget about it. It's ratatouille. It's a whole bunch of rats floating through water. And I know for a fact because I've seen it. I've seen it. The sad thing about it, in Ernie's building, the architect that made the sculpture of Martin Luther King Jr., that's right in front of the courthouse, had the molds stored in Ernie Davis's basement. Had the design stored in Ernie Davis's basement. Sewer backed up, water came up through the basement, it was high, destroyed all that. The poor man stood there and cried. And they had to pull all the stuff out. These are the conditions that's going on underneath.
You
and
talking about the
nobody
building?
wants to
You talking about the building on Fifth Avenue?
talking about Ernie's building. Where the whatchamacallit is at?
On Fifth Avenue, yeah.
Yeah.
Across from the parking lot. Yeah.
Yeah, in the basement. The man cried. I was down there. I saw the moles. And they were trying to move all that up and trying to save all that stuff. Many of the basements flood. Many of the basements have rats. On a general basis, because it's just a mess. It needs to be fixed. Somebody needs to have an answer for that. But we don't hear anything. But y'all are people that keep voting for that. And this is not an attack on anybody. It's basically telling the people, what are you doing? You can't blame a person you keep voting in office and they keep doing nothing. You can't blame them. You got to blame yourself after a while. I don't know. But that smoke, and people need to get together. They need to get some type of independent report outside from the city. It's election time. Y'all should have been asking your county elected officials. You got to get an independent air, soil, and you got to test the water again. And you got to track the asthma and cancer and respiratory illness by zip code. There's already reports that says that Mount Vernon is higher. But people have to collect data. Just can't complain on Facebook. You just can't send out emails.
I want to go a step further. It's while the elected officials have a part to play in all of this, I don't want to let the residents off the hook, because you have to fight for the things that you want. You have to speak up. There's a lot of residents that there's a part they got to play too. So the conditions of the city is not only because of the elected officials. If the people are not fighting for these things, they're not going to get them.
Right.
So you have to fight for what it is that you want. You have to stand up and demand what you want. And I'm not talking about writing propaganda on Facebook, but I'm like going to city council meetings, going places that matter, going up to Albany, going up, doing, playing your role. That's your responsibility. So it doesn't matter who is in office. If the people are not demanding these things, it's not going to happen.
Right. Oh. Right. So
I just want to put that out there, because
yeah.
you put and again, you get the government that you deserve because you get the government you vote for. And if you're elected officials, this is not Mount Vernon, this is everywhere we got our people. If your elected officials are not doing what you need them to do for your community, your county, your municipality, you need to vote them out and put people in who have that will do what you need them to do. And that is also your responsibility. So, we have to stop voting for people because they're our friends, or they're cool with us, or they went to high school with us, or they're in a fraternal organization, a sorority or a fraternity with us, or, there's a lot of people that I'm cool with. I would never vote for them for office. No, I'm just, and I don't mean that as disrespect. Like, I wouldn't vote for them. I wouldn't vote for them because they're my people. I don't know if they would, if I don't think that they would be good for, I'm not going to vote for them. Like, I'm just not going to vote for them because they're my people. Like, I don't know where we do that. Like, we vote against our interests, and I don't even, we talk. I'm not going to harbor on that because that's something we've been talking about for the longest, and you feel like you're wasting your time sometimes. But
right. All right. So we're gonna go on to the next one. But I think, the people of Mount Vernon need to hold elected officials accountable. Like they have to, like we didn't hear like the total disrespect for no elected official to show up with the police chief on the detainee shooting other detainees in the back. That's totally disrespectful. And I'm saying it. That's totally disrespectful. That was a complete breakdown. That was unheard of in police history for something like that to happen, especially in Westchester County. Especially in Westchester County. And I'm not pointing any blames, but we have to have accountability for things like that. And then to hear that we got all this smoke, that's just not local issue. It's actually a county and state issue too. But I've seen the residents of Mount Vernon continue to be disrespected by the state. But I also understand the state position because Mount Vernon keeps voting these people in. You get the government you vote for. So sooner or later, people are going to have to mobilize and get it together. It's nice to talk about it. But after a while, me and AJ get tired of talking about it when nobody takes the information and acts on the information. What's the point of writing it? And then we create enemies for ourselves, and then y'all don't even act on it.
So let me be clear about that. Like, I don't mind. I'm ready for the smoke. I will stand.
No. It ain't about.
Let me finish. I'm ready for the smoke, and I'll fight with anybody who is fighting for their issue. We are here to stand by you and maybe fight with you, but we are not here to fight for you. And there are too many people that come to us. I'm not talking about people who can't fight for themselves, because we will always fight for them. But there are people who can fight for themselves that won't fight for themselves and expect Black Westchester to fight for them. I am not fighting your fight for you. If it is not important enough for you to fight for, I'm not going to stand there with you. Because what happens is when the smoke comes, me and Damon are standing there. Why are we the only ones with all the smoke coming at? We're supposed to be standing with you. We look around and we don't see nobody. We're supposed to be standing with you, not for you. You know what I'm saying? So you got to, there's accountability. You have to want to fight for your own stuff. And if I see somebody fighting for their issue or something, and it's a worthwhile issue, I will stand with them and fight with them, stand with them. We won't fight for you. And since it's Sunday, they're saying, without God, we can't. But the rest of that saying is, without us, God won't. In other words, God won't do it for us. You understand? You have to be willing to put in the work. So that's the other part of that saying. People always say that part, without God, we can't, but without us, God won't. He's not going to just do it for you. You have to be willing to put in some work. So that's what that's about. So,
well, on to the next, man. We just gonna, for those who maybe in the 5 boroughs, I have some highlights of the last debate between Cuomo, Zoran Mandani, and Curtis Slewa. So let's check it out and we could discuss, I mean, me and AJ don't vote there, but it should be some people who might be watching
We have people in the city who watch Black Westchester.
Right.
That's
So
why the elected officials come on our show.
So we're gonna watch this. We have a conversation. Let's get into it.
The governor doesn't build housing in New York City.
Not if it's you.
No, legally, there are jurisdictions. The governor doesn't pick up trash. He doesn't run the fire department. That's what the mayor does. The mayor builds housing. The state allocates funding for localities. And I allocated more funding for housing than any governor in the history of the state of New York. All right? I did things. You have never had a job. You've never accomplished anything. There's no reason to believe you have any merit or qualification for 8.5 million lives. You don't know how to run a government. You don't know how to handle an emergency. And you've literally never proposed a bill on anything that you're now talking about in your campaign. You had the worst attendance record in the assembly, and you gave yourselves the highest raise in the United States of America. You went from $110,000 to $140,000, and then you never showed up for work, and you missed 80% of the votes. Shame on you. Shame on you.
Good evening. Thank you to the moderators, and thank you to New Yorkers for tuning in. I know you'd rather be watching the Knicks. While there are 3 candidates on this stage, you will hear only 2 messages. My opponents, who spend more time trying to convince the other to drop out than actually proposing their own policies, will speak only of the past, because that's all that they know. I am the sole candidate running with a vision for the future of this city. Andrew Cuomo will spend much of tonight attacking me. He is a desperate man, lashing out because he knows that the one thing he's always cared about, power, is now slipping away from him. He will amplify right-wing talking points, he will share conspiracy theories, and he will do these things to make you feel that this should keep you up at night. But I've been spending the last year listening to New Yorkers, and I know what actually keeps you up. It's whether or not you can afford to live a safe and dignified life in this city. I have plans for our future. My opponents only have fear. We first just heard from the Republican candidate for mayor, and then we heard from Donald Trump's puppet himself, Andrew Cuomo. You could turn on TV any day of the week, and you will hear Donald Trump share that his pick for mayor is Andrew Cuomo. And he wants Andrew Cuomo to be the mayor, not because it will be good for New Yorkers, but because it will be good for him. Look, Donald Trump ran on 3 promises. He ran on creating the single largest deportation force in American history. He ran on going after his political enemies, and he ran on lowering the cost of living. If he wants to talk to me about the 3rd piece of that agenda, I will always be ready and willing. But if he wants to talk about how to pursue the 1st and 2nd piece of that agenda at the expense of New Yorkers,
President Trump has to respect you. He sent the National Guard into 20 cities. The city he didn't send it into, New York, because I talked to him and I said, we don't need you here. He has said he'll take over New York if Mondami wins, and he will, because he has no respect for him. He thinks he's a kid and he's going to knock him on his tuchus. Yeah, the difference on this question is I've actually lived it and I've done it. With President Trump over many years through the most difficult situation that this country has gone through, COVID plus. You're wrong. You're going to have to confront President Trump. He is hyper-aggressive, and he is going to overstep his bounds. And you are going to have to confront him. And you can beat him. I confronted him, and I have beaten him. He was going to quarantine New York during COVID. And I stopped him. He was going to cut aid to federal programs, and I stopped him. But you also want to be in a place where you can cooperate on good things, because we need federal help if we're going to save our city and rebuild our city.
Mr. Cuomo, in 2021, 13 different women who worked in your administration credibly accused you of sexual harassment. Since then, you have spent more than $20 million in taxpayer funds to defend yourself, all while describing these allegations as entirely political. You have even gone so far as to legally go after these women. One of those women, Charlotte Bennett, is here in the audience this evening. You sought to access her private gynecological records. She cannot speak up for herself because you lodged a defamation case against her. I, however, can speak. What do you say to the 13 women that you sexually harassed?
If you want to be in government, then you have to be serious and mature. There were allegations of sexual harassment. They were then went to 5 district attorneys, fully litigated for 4 years. The cases were dropped, right? You know that as a fact. So everything you just said was a misstatement, which we're accustomed to from you.
Stated was a misstatement?
Yes, because the cases were dropped. That's what happened. And my question to you, you still didn't answer, why won't you say BDS against Uganda for saying gays should be imprisoned for being gay?
Okay.
You have no problem with BDS against Israel, but no BDS for Uganda.
Excuse me, Mr. Cuomo, it's my turn, all right? It's like 2 kids in a schoolyard.
I heard you on the radio this morning.
Zoran, this is personal for me. I know you are under threat. The mother of my 2 youngest sons who are raised Jewish, Melinda Katz, is prosecuting this person who came up and tried to do you harm. But let me speak on behalf of my 2 sons. When they've heard some of the statements you've made, like in support of global jihad, and I hear some people out there saying the Jews, their time is due, which means the same thing. They're frightened, they're scared. They view you as the arsonist who fanned the flames of anti-Semitism. They cannot suddenly accept the fact that you're coming in like a firefighter and you're going to put out these flames. You've got a lot of explaining to do, a lot of apologizing to do. My sons are afraid. Their family, their friends, many in the Jewish community are concerned if you become mayor because they don't think when anti-Semitism rears its ugly head, which it's now doing more than ever before, that you will have the ability to come in and put out those flames of hate. I heard the both of them again fighting like kids in the schoolyard. Zoran, your resume could fit on a cocktail napkin, and Andrew, your failures could fill a public school library in New York City.
You know, not everything is a TikTok video. You're the savior of the Jewish people. You won't denounce, globalize the Intifada, which means kill Jews. There's unprecedented fear in New York. It was not several rabbis, Errol. It was 650 rabbis who signed the letter, not several. Protest, demonstrate, disagree. God bless America. God bless New York City. And there is no doubt that there's 2 sides on what's going on, and the passions are very high. That doesn't justify anti-Semitic behavior in New York. It doesn't justify having a Jewish population that feels unprotected in New York. It doesn't justify leaders who stoke the flames of hatred against Jewish people, which is what Zoran does, in my opinion.
Zoran, this is personal for me. I know you are under threat. The mother of my 2 youngest sons who are raised Jewish, Melinda Katz, is prosecuting this person who came up and tried.
Yeah, I think, yep, that's it. Well,
So who's the third dude?
and that's Curtis Slewa.
Okay, without his red bandana, I didn't recognize.
Yeah. That's Curtis. That's Curtis Slewa, man. He's been running as a Republican for. They got to get it somebody else, bro. Like, because they really had a shot.
Yeah, I'm not a fan.
The Republicans really had a shot, because neither one of like who's gonna, out of the 3. Listen, if Mandami wins, my property value is going up. I'm just keeping it 100. People are moving. I talked to my cousin last night, and Armit, he's a big real estate guy. He's a big real estate investor. He said nobody wants to invest in blue states.
So you're saying if he wins the mayor of Mount Vernon, your property tax in Middletown, Orange County is going to go up?
I didn't say property tax. I said my value, because people will be moving up here. They're already
moving up. Okay.
Yeah. People will be moving up here if Mandami wins.
That's a good thing, right?
Value.
The value of
no, it's a good thing. Listen, it's a good thing for me.
No. I was just gonna say that wasn't a complaint. That was okay.
As of today, You know, I live in a Republican county. Now, we don't know election day because Mike Sussman is running on the Democratic line, and good luck to him.
Oh, you're in Orange. He's running for Orange County.
Yeah. Right. But at the end of the day, I already know if they're not going to go to Florida or Southern state, they're coming up here. Less regulations.
Is it Republican or is it conservative?
It's a Republican county.
Oh, I thought it was more conservative. Okay.
Republican, conservative.
Hmm.
You know, let me tell you the difference.
because all conservatives are not Republican. That's why I was just saying. Like,
Right. But they ended up voting for Republicans instead of Democrats.
Yeah, they
so I mean, in New York, right? Because we have the multi, you know, the different parties and stuff like that. Let me tell you the difference. You got a company, you got a food truck. Mount Vernon, and you do in Westchester, you got to go what? You got to go to the health department. You got to get a certificate of the health department. Then to sell in each city, you got to pay each city to sell in each city in Westchester County. Orange County, you pay $150 from the health department and you can sell wherever you want, as long as it's not on private property.
In the county lines.
In the county.
Throughout the county.
In the county. I was shocked. But see, that's the difference.
I know, but that doesn't bring home to a lot of people who just don't have food trucks like that. Don't.
Well, I mean, if you got a business, you're not paying over this overhead. You're not paying for every city in the county. You're just paying once. And that's the difference. That's a big difference, bro. For someone who has a business or someone who's starting a business. Because if you're starting a business, usually you're strapped. And how are you going to get all this money to pay all these fees? You know, I mean, look, it is what it is. I'm just telling the difference. But if Mandemi wins, a lot of people are going to leave. I don't understand how you say you're going to tax the rich, but you're financed by the rich. I don't get it.
Yeah, that's the political double talk that everybody does.
And there's no rich person that's going to change, that wants the tax code change. And like it or not, people that are watching, that's what made Trump a superstar in the debate with Hillary Clinton. Because he said that she would never change the tax code. Because too many people that gave her money was filthy rich. And then even Cuomo, the newscaster, he made a great point which probably went over everybody's head at the Democratic convention. He said, you see all the boxes up there at the Democratic convention? He said, they're all millionaires. You got to pay $20,000 or more to get up there. Do you really think they're going to raise their taxes? Orange is considered downstate? I don't know, sis. Orange is considered downstate? I don't know. But I mean, for me, it's
a debate depending on where you live.
Oh, okay.
If you live where I live is considered upstate. If you live further north than there, like further north, it is considered downstate.
Yeah. Well, okay. It's upstate to me. When I got to drive 2 hours to get to New York City, it's upstate to me. You know, but I mean that's something that we have to talk about.
I mean, people in New York City consider Mount Vernon upstate. So you know what I'm saying. So people down there,
yeah, well, yeah, absolutely. Let's jump into We're going to talk about the NBA. I'm going to show you the little press conference and we have a conversation. And then after that, we're going to talk about the shutdown because I want to play all what the leaders say. And then we need to make a educated opinion on what's really going on in Washington, D.C. So let's go to this NBA bus.
Good morning. Today we are here in New York to announce a historic arrest across a wide-sweeping criminal enterprise that envelops both the NBA and La Casa Nostra. The men and women up here standing with me represent a small portion of the leadership team that brought profound justice in an era that needed it more than any. I'll just highlight some of the details in the case and the FBI work, and then you'll hear from the others. But as you now know, individuals such as Chauncey Billups, Damon Jones, and Terry Rozier were taken into custody today, former, current NBA players and coaches. What you don't know is that this is an illegal gambling operation and sports rigging operation that spanned the course of years. The FBI led a coordinated takedown across 11 states to arrest over 30 individuals today responsible for this case, which is very much ongoing. Not only did we crack into the fraud that these perpetrators committed on the grand stage of the NBA, but we also entered and executed a system of justice against La Casa Nostra to include the Bonanno, Gambino, Genovese, and Lucchese crime families. And you'll hear more about those details today. The charges and the arrests that were taken down across this country range from wire fraud, money laundering, extortion, robbery, illegal gambling. This FBI will leave no room for any perpetrator of crime across this country. You hear a lot about our work of defending the homeland and crushing violent crime. Well, this work is also representative of a colossal portion of the FBI's mandate to keep America safe and to keep our entertainment industry fair and secure. The men and women that are standing up here today worked tireless hours, days, months, and years. And the fraud is mind-boggling. It's not hundreds of dollars. It's not thousands of dollars. It's not tens of thousands of dollars. It's not even millions of dollars. We're talking about tens of millions of dollars in fraud and theft and robbery across a multi-year investigation. And we could not have done it without our interagency partners that are before us today. The NYPD, HSI, and teams of law enforcement officials from around the country made this day possible. It takes a team to bring this kind of justice, sweeping justice, into the halls of the United States courtrooms, where our brave United States attorney has led this prosecution.
Sports corruption schemes since online sports betting became widely legalized in the United States. This scheme is an insider sports betting conspiracy that exploited confidential information about National Basketball Association athletes and teams. The second indictment involves 31 defendants alleged to have participated in a nationwide scheme to rig illegal poker games. These defendants, which include former professional athletes, used high-tech cheating technology to steal millions of dollars from victims in underground poker games that were secretly fixed. The games in the New York area were backed by the Bonanno, Gambino, and Genovese crime families of La Casa Nostra. While the cases are separate, there are 3 overlapping defendants charged in both cases: Damon Jones, Eric Ernest, and Shane Hennon. The indictments in these cases contain only allegations, and the defendants are presumed innocent until they are proven guilty in a court of law. But my message to the defendants who've been rounded up today is this: your winning streak has ended. Your luck has run out. Violating the law is a losing proposition, and you can bet on that. First, I would like to talk about United States versus Ernest, the NBA basketball gambling case. The defendants in this case are Eric Ernest, Marvez Farley, Shane Hennon, De Niro Laster, Damon Jones, a former NBA player and coach, and Terry Rozier, a current NBA player. Other co-conspirators were previously charged for their roles in the scheme, including former NBA player Jonte Porter. Between December 2022 and March 2024, these defendants perpetrated a scheme to defraud by betting on inside, non-public information about NBA athletes and teams. The non-public information included when specific players would be sitting out future games, or when they would pull themselves out early for purported injuries or illnesses. They relied on corrupt individuals, including Jones and Rozier. They also misused information obtained through long-standing friendships that they had with NBA players and coaches. And in at least one instance, they got their information by threatening a current player, Porter, because of his pre-existing gambling debts. Defendants used this non-public information to place hundreds of thousands of dollars in fraudulent bets, mostly in the form of prop bets on individual player performance. The bets were placed through online sports books and also in person at casinos. The defendants relied on a network of straw bettors to place the maximum amount of bets to increase their potential profits. Most of these bets succeeded, and the intended losses were in the millions of dollars. The defendants then laundered their illegal winnings in various ways: peer-to-peer platforms, bank wires, and simple cash exchanges. The indictment details specific examples where the defendants profited from illegal gambling and illegal betting on various NBA games about the performance of players on, among other things, the Charlotte Hornets, the Portland Trail Blazers, the Los Angeles Lakers, and the Toronto Rangers. Each defendant in the NBA basketball gambling case has been charged with conspiracy to commit wire fraud and conspiracy to commit money laundering. Now, I would like to turn to the other case, United States versus Aiello, the rigged poker game case. Beginning as early as 2019, the defendants in this case orchestrated a scheme to use wireless cheating technology to run rigged poker games across the United States, including in the Hamptons, Las Vegas, Miami, and Manhattan. The scheme targeted victims known as, quote, fish, who were often lured to participate in these rigged games by the chance to play alongside former professional athletes who were known as, quote, face cards. The so-called face cards included the defendant Chauncey Billups, who at the time of the scheme was a former NBA player and is currently the head coach of the Portland Trail Blazers, and also Damon Jones, a former NBA player and coach. What the victims, the fish, didn't know is that everybody else at the poker game, from the dealer to the players, including the face cards, were in on the scam. Once the game was underway, the defendants fleeced the victims out of tens or hundreds of thousands of dollars per game. The defendants used a variety of very sophisticated cheating technologies, some of which were provided by other defendants in exchange for a share of the profits from the scheme. For example, they used off-the-shelf shuffling machines that had been secretly altered in order to read the cards in the deck, predict which player at the table had the best poker hand, and relay that information to an off-site operator. The off-site operator sent the information via cell phone back to a co-conspirator at the table, and that person at the table was known as the quarterback. The quarterback then signaled secretly the information he had received from to others at the table, and together they used that information in order to win their games and to cheat the victims. Defendants used other cheating technologies such as poker chip tray analyzers, which is a poker chip tray that secretly reads cards using a hidden camera, special contact lenses or eyeglasses that could read pre-marked cards, and an X-ray table that could read cards face down on the table. What you see depicted on the screen right now is an example of the X-ray table that reveals the cards. Although they are face down on the table, they can be read because of the X-ray technology. The mafia, specifically members and associates of the Bonanno, Gambino, and Genovese organized crime families, had pre-existing control over non-rigged, illegal poker games around New York City. As a result, they also became involved in the rigged poker games, helping to organize the games and taking a cut of the proceedings, and working to enforce the collection of debts.
Yep.
So two things. For the record,
That's not me.
my partner Damon K. Jones is not the Damon Jones mentioned, because as you see, he's right here. And secondly, more importantly, the Toronto Rangers is not a real basketball team. The name was mistakenly used by FBI officials during the press conference. The actual name of the basketball team is the Toronto Raptors. So that actually, because it became a meme and it went all over the internet and everything.
Yeah.
There is no. When he said, I was like, Rangers. There is no Toronto Rangers. He messed up. He messed up in his thing. So before anybody says that,
well, let me tell you,
and you just started something. They going back and forth about whether Orange County is upstate or downstate. In the comments.
Yeah. I saw that, man. I saw that. But hey, man, someone texted me. He's like, why they didn't mention the mobster's name? I said, because the mobsters are the bigger fish. I don't look, if you're making the money that they're making,
mm-hmm.
and I think one of the dudes was making millions, and you get yourself caught up in that, I can't feel for you. As a grown man, I can't feel for you, because 9 times out of 10, and even Charles Barkley was talking about it, and we know a lot of these players have big gambling habits. They're addicted, and then you get caught up with the mob.
Well, the cheating aspect, Charles talked about the cheating aspect too, because Kenny was trying to say, it's talk about the addiction part. And Charles said, I'm not letting you get away with the addiction part. There's never an excuse to bet on the sport that you play. And he was like, the corruption involved in that, there's no excuse for that. And Shaq agreed with Charles. This is about, and on another note, this sports gambling thing that you can do on your phone thing just makes it so much easier. Like that made sports betting, the corruption part of aspect. I knew that was going to come because it makes it easier.
Listen, man, the mob never went away. They just got out of the business of being in the limelight, right?
Well, they never wanted to be in the limelight. When somebody,
they got put there.
Yeah. When they got one or two that's like big celebrity time, they silenced them some kind of way. Like you're too big, you're making too much noise. Yeah, they
end up silencing themselves being big.
Yeah,
But at the end of the day, like here's this former mobster, and he talks about he literally talks about how these players get caught up. Hold on a second. It's only a minute.
Get in and over their heads. They'd come and see me and say, hey, I guess you didn't know, but this is my operation. You're gambling with me. So here's the deal. You owe me $250,000. How are you going to pay? How are you going to pay me back? You got a rich uncle? Go rob a bank. I don't care what you do. Bring me my money. You see they're scared. It's all right. I got another way to work this out. Here's how we're going to do it. Okay? You're a quarterback. Okay? You're favored to win by 10 points. The first 3 times you get the ball, you put it in the hands of the other receiver. Put it in the defensive men's hands. You're a running back. You get the ball, you put it on the ground. First 3 times. You let me worry about the rest. You're going to do this until I tell you you're not doing it anymore. That's how I'll get my money back. What are they going to do? They're stuck.
And they always did that. They
had to
shave points in order not to pay back their gambling debt.
They had no choice. Pay your debt. You're not going to get away with it. You owe a gambling debt you have to pay. And if you don't pay, there's serious consequences. So just work along with us.
Yeah,
You know,
that's been going on for the longest, and also compromising. I mean, we had a big thing with even college sports because before the college players couldn't be paid anything, they were taking money from different things, and then they were compromised, and then they were made to you're supposed to, you got, like you said, you got a 10-point spread. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna win the game, but I need you to win it by less than 10 points. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Oh no, it's been going on for a long time,
and
I believe
at the end of the game, and
right.
it's a 1-point game. Yeah.
I really believe because of who these people are, Chauncey Billups, Damon Jones, the other, there's more to come.
Oh, there's a lot more to come.
There's more to come, and I saw one person talking about, because if you think about it,
there's a whole lot of people quiet right now because they don't know if their name's about to be mentioned.
And who's Damon Jones's man? Who's Damon Jones's man?
Who?
LeBron James.
Oh, okay.
Who's Damon Jones? That's his man. Now you trying to tell me they ain't never went to no high skate poker game? See, because that's out of our league. We listen. I don't like losing that monopoly. I'm not going to no high stake poker game. I'm not doing it. It doesn't even matter. But if you don't think some of these athletes, these big time athletes, and probably entertainers, and Stephen A is right. It's just not going to be NBA. It's going to be the NFL. It's going to be the WNBA. It's going to be all sports.
The ESPN wrote an article on the 23rd. Was that 2-3 days ago? The bettors allegedly got injury info on LeBron James. Talking about Damon Jones. And that's exactly. It's on ESPN.com if you want to look it up.
Yeah. Well, listen.
Again, the key word from us is it says allegedly.
Well, allegedly.
No. Don't say Black Westchester said shit. It's allegedly, and ESPN wrote the story. Keeping it real. No. ESPN wrote the story. Yes. I just said that was his man. Everybody know that they were friends. ESPN says allegedly he got injury report. Now, listen. I won't be surprised if this is LeBron's last year, or LeBron get traded, or LeBron go to another team. Those two things might happen out of this, because it's not over. That's not over. And this was going on under the Biden administration. First off, the investigation was going on from the Biden.
Yeah, right. No, I'm talking about the Biden administration.
But this sports thing, the betting and all that, this has been going on for decades.
No, it's been going, but nobody, there's been a couple of referees that got locked up for that. Right. But this is a players. Now is players.
Somebody,
and that's the beginning.
Jordan and Charles Barkley have a history of gambling. Yeah, but
absolutely.
They never got in compromising deep debt like that. Jordan paid his debts. You know what I'm saying? He won a lot, he lost a lot.
No, Jordan paid the biggest debt.
Oh yeah, well, that too. Yes.
Jordan paid the biggest debt. And if we sit here and think that the death of his father didn't have nothing to do with his gambling, we are idiots.
Well, it had to do with other things, but we'll have that. That's a different conversation. But what I'm saying is Jordan had a history of gambling, and Barkley too. They both had a history, but they have never been, as far as we know, in compromising debt where they couldn't pay and got into these type of situations. They won a lot of money, especially Jordan. He won a lot. He lost a lot. He won a lot. He lost a lot. That was what he did. But he made a lot. Right. So while those numbers was big to us, $40,000 and $50,000, when he made $50 million that year, that's not a lot of money to him, but that's a lot of money to us, to lose at one time.
Well, yeah. Right. But I mean, listen.
But yeah, there's been scandals about this for the longest. And, again, what you just said, this investigation started under the Biden administration. FBI under the Biden administration. But this has been going on for a while, and there's going to be a lot of other names. And you notice there's a lot of players not speaking on this. There's a lot of
they're all going to be quiet.
A lot of coaches and stuff is not speaking on it. There's a couple of owners not speaking on this. Like people don't know it's about to come out next.
Because it's about to come out, and it's about to come out, and you got the worst president in history to have that's going to make it come out.
Yeah, on the person, the person that I'm most disappointed in, and I had a lot of respect for, was Chauncey Billups.
Me too.
Somebody I personally had a lot of respect for him, his career, his legacy, and all of that. And I'm personally, not that it matters to him how I feel, but I'm personally most disappointed by him.
Well, people get caught up, bro.
No, I get it.
People act like they got all that money, and some of them are living paycheck to paycheck, just like a brother making $35,000 a year.
Because they spend so much, because they're
exactly.
Their bills is way higher, and what goes out is a lot more than what goes out.
Exactly. All right, we're gonna move on. Let's talk about the shutdown, and then we'll save Tish James for last, and then we out of here. Video file.
Yeah, I got it. While you looking at somebody else said that too. They said they called you. As soon as I saw the article that morning, I sent it to Damon. I was like, "Yo, what you do, dude? What you do?"
Yeah, exactly.
I forgot who else. Somebody else told me they did the same thing.
Our calling, I think, part of our responsibility as elected servants of the people.
So let's get to the shutdown. You've blamed the Democrats, and to be clear, you did pass a so-called clear,
not so-called, totally clean.
Keep the government funded for 7 months. They refused to vote for that, most of them, because they want to hold out for the Obamacare subsidies.
Well, no, they filed it. We filed a clean CR, 24 pages in length, keep the lights on. They filed a dirty CR. What's in it? They want to reinstate free health care paid for by taxpayers to illegal aliens. That's $200 billion as part of it. They want to give money back to the Corporation for Public Broadcasting. They want to take $500 million from rural hospitals, and they want to engage in all sorts of spending on foreign projects around the globe. That is actually on paper. That's their kind of proposal. We can't do that.
Okay, so the Democrats did not vote for the clean funding bill. They have chosen to shut the government down to fight for the health care and the other items you mentioned. But let me ask you, why, as this is going on, why is the House not in session?
Well, first of all, we're fighting for health care as well, not just in word, but in deed. We put it in the one big beautiful bill, the Working Families Tax Cut, real reforms to Medicaid to make it work better, to preserve the program, because we had illegal aliens receiving benefits. We had young, able-bodied men who were not working. They don't have dependents. They were riding the wagon. We cleaned that up in our bill. In their counterproposal, what Chuck Schumer is arguing for is he wants to reverse those reforms, which would be a terrible policy decision for the people.
But I'm actually asking a different question. I said, why is the House not in session? I mean, I covered day-to-day those previous shutdowns, including the one you mentioned in 2013. I recall there were House hearings during that shutdown about how President Obama was handling the shutdown.
Yeah.
Why is the House not in session as this is?
The House did its job. Exactly a month ago today, on September 19th, we passed the clean resolution. The continuing resolution would keep the lights on, keep the government working for the people. By the way, keep Border Patrol agents paid, our troops paid, air traffic controllers, all the rest, all the services that go to veterans and young women who need nutrition assistance for their infants. The Democrats, every single one of them, have now voted 11 times, except for 3 Democrats in the Senate. They voted 11 times to shut down the government and cease and halt all of those services and programs.
But I'm still understanding, why is the House not in session? You passed a 7-week temporary funding bill. Is that the entirety of the Republican agenda?
No, it is not. No, it is not. But I refuse to allow us to come back and engage in anything until the government's reopened, when the Democrats do the right thing for the people. They're playing politics, and we have to use every ounce of leverage we have to make sure they do the right thing. They have literally chosen, this is a true statement, you think about it, look at their votes and their actions. They have chosen restoring benefits by taxpayers to illegal aliens over paying our troops and our Border Patrol agents and TSA and all the rest. It's unconscionable. It's never been done before.
As you know, neither Medicaid nor the Obamacare subsidies can go to undocumented.
You know why? Because we got it signed into law July 4th, and they're trying to repeal it, Jonathan. That's the whole point.
But you were doing this 7-week extension to give you time to pass funding for the rest of the year.
That's right.
Why aren't you working on that now?
We are working on that. We don't have to be on the House floor to do it. Our appropriators are working around the clock. They have been. They're negotiating not just in our party, but across the aisle to get the next batch of appropriations bills ready to go. It's a great point. All we did was a simple CR. There's not a single Republican policy priority on the CR.
But there are no committee hearings on these budget bills. There are no votes on these budget bills.
Very important. Very important. The House has already passed the 12 appropriations bills through committee. They don't need a committee hearing to do that. We need to get them off the floor. But it's been stopped by the Democrats in the Senate. And why? Because Chuck Schumer is afraid that one of these Marxists is going to run against him in his next reelect, and he has to get political cover. When he did the right thing in March, and he voted for the nearly identical CR, he took massive heat from the far left. Many of the groups that were out there protesting yesterday, he can't face them again. This is plainly and simply a selfish decision on his part.
You guys, the Democrats are acting like terrorists, holding the American people hostage right now in order to get what you want. You want to just quickly respond to that?
Well, that type of language is reckless, it's irresponsible, and it's going to get someone killed. What do these folks not understand as it relates to the language that they continue
his hands is like
to
this.
use? We should be able to battle it out in the contest of ideas, as opposed to trying to use these extreme terms that have been unleashed on the American people from the very beginning of this presidency, and matter of fact, for a long period of time by the current president and those sycophants who continue to do nothing more than rubber stamp his extreme agenda and hurt the American.
The Republicans, they are seizing on this clip, and I'll play it from your fellow top House Democrat Congresswoman Catherine Clark. Listen and watch this. This is what she said.
I mean, shutdowns are terrible. And of course, there will be, you know, families that are going to suffer. We take that responsibility very seriously. But it is one of the few leveraged times we have.
Republicans say this is an admission that Democrats are using the American people as political leverage during this shutdown. You want to respond?
Donald Trump is the president. Republicans control the House and the Senate. They've made the decision to shut down the government, and they are the ones who consistently have taken adverse actions, made clear that they want to hurt the American people during this shutdown that they've created, and they refuse to reopen the government because of their unwillingness to provide affordable health care to everyday Americans.
They have the control, and they have the House, the Senate, the White House, and all of that. But the countermeasure to what you're describing is what we saw play out today in the Senate, where you had 3 Senate Democrats vote in favor of the worker pay bill, Senator Ossoff of Georgia, Fetterman of Pennsylvania, and Warnock of Georgia. So how do you stay on message when the countermeasure to what you're doing now, which has been effective, you know, the messaging around health care, sort of leveling up what the impact of all this is having on real people out there. But now Republicans say, okay, I see you. I got one more for you. Hard bill after hard bill after hard vote after hard vote. How do Democrats message that and strategically work with that at the same time holding their ground?
Now, the Republicans are going to try to advance gotcha vote after gotcha vote after gotcha vote. But I think it's been extraordinary to see not just House Democrats, but House and Senate Democrats together standing up, unified, strong on behalf of the American people, because we know we're on the right side of issues that matter, and I expect to see that continuously.
We're talking about a continuing resolution to keep the government open and then going into the normal appropriations process. I mean, there was an election, and the Republicans were put in a position where they were able to pass the big, beautiful bill, or you call it the big, ugly bill, to then say, we don't like any of that, so we're going to shut down the government until you take back all the things that you duly passed through legislation. If Republicans had tried to do that to the Inflation Reduction Act or the any of the acts that Biden and that administration have passed, if they said we're going to shut down the government because we don't like any of those things you did, we're going to not pay our military, we're going to, you know, not allow the government to reopen until you do what we want. After an election where the American people put Democrats in power, you'd be going crazy. You'd be going crazy about using a shutdown of the government with a continuing resolution to get what you want just because you don't like what the Republicans did. It's not how it works. It's bad. It's bad precedent, and it's just clear. And you're talking about the House. You've already passed this. The Senate is who we're talking about, and they have a bill which will reopen the government right now with 5 more Democrats.
What is bad precedent is the Republican refusal to engage in bipartisan negotiations. What is bad precedent is the Republicans embarking on a my way or the highway approach from the very beginning of this Congress. Republicans control the House, the Senate, and the presidency. Joe, you're exactly right. So if the government shuts down, they've made the decision to shut the government down. And they can reopen it right now if they chose to with a rule change in the Senate. But I just explained it. The reality is they want to keep the government closed. Cruelty from the very beginning of this administration has been the point. And the responsible thing to do is to sit down and negotiate a bipartisan path forward to address a very real healthcare crisis that's upon us right now. Open enrollment starts on November 1st.
Can you do those negotiations while the government is reopened? I think that's the offer that's been on the table. We did hear the House Speaker, Mike Johnson, talking about how, look, he passed a clean CR. There's not really much for him to politic in because there's nothing to take out. Any Republican pork that they pushed into this to take out of it to offer as a way of getting around this. Can you reopen the government and have these conversations if there's a willing party on the other side, which it sounds like there is if you talk to some of the Republicans who see this as an issue in their district as well?
Well, certainly Marjorie Taylor Greene has made clear that it's a very real issue. It's an issue that Republicans have ignored throughout this year, and it's an issue that needs to be addressed right now. Mike Johnson has made the representation, including at that White House meeting that we had last week, after Chuck Schumer and I reached out to demand that we have the conversation. Unfortunately, it took place literally a day before the government shut down because Republicans have refused to engage in bipartisan negotiations or even conversations up until this point. And our view is, what Johnson said is that health care is an irrelevant extraneous issue. No, it's not an extraneous issue. It's a central issue. And we need to deal with it right now. And we're willing to sit down and have that conversation. We want to reopen the government. But you're not going to fix this. That's a negotiation that is going to take a very long time. Employees, including the military, are not going to get paid on October 15th. Can you have these negotiations?
And that's an issue that we believe should. And that's an issue that we believe should be dealt with respect to our troops in a bipartisan way, in a manner that it has been dealt with in the past in previous shutdowns,
in the past, including
in October of 2013. I'm talking about in October of 2013, where as a standalone issue, the military pay for our families and men and women in uniform was dealt with. That's what I'm making reference to. So who should get paid besides the military? You think the TSA agents should get paid? Where does the line stop for who gets paid and who doesn't? The law requires everyone to be paid, and unfortunately, Donald Trump has once again suggested that no one is going to get paid, which to me is consistent with the efforts to undermine the rule of law that we've seen from this administration from the very beginning. Listen, our position just remains clear. We just want to have a serious bipartisan discussion about reopening the government and enacting a spending agreement that meets the needs of the American people. And we. Okay. AJ, make your comment.
There's a lot to unpack in this situation. And doing what we do, news, and how things are, how narratives are created. There's a lot of that going on both sides. So the Republicans saying that the Democrats shut down the government because they didn't get what they wanted and won't open it until you give them what they want, when the Republicans were also the minority party. There were shutdowns when they were fighting for like that is when you don't have the presidency, you don't have the You don't have the Senate. You don't have any of that. You don't have the votes. One of the ways of fighting for whatever it is that you're trying to fight for, and we're not talking about whether I think what they're fighting for is good or bad, but I'm just talking about fighting for your issues. Holding out until you get that is once if you're not going to give it to them now when they're holding out, if they vote to open the government back up, you're definitely not going to get it. So that's the only way. And Republicans have done the same thing. There have been shutdowns when Democrats were in control and they were fighting for whatever it is that they were fighting for. So this is the way politics is being played these days. Both parties then try to make the other party look like it's their fault. The Republicans actually counted on the bad press and all of that the Democrats will fold by now, and they haven't. And now some of
they don't care.
Yeah, listen.
No, you're missing a key point. Go ahead.
They will care. See, the government shutting down don't hurt Democrats, it hurts Americans. So there's Republicans that's going to be Republican counties, Republican states that are also going to be hurt. Those are the people that vote them in office. And when those people are hurting, they're going to be complaining. So that's when they will care. Because they don't care. They don't care with me. They don't care what's going on. They don't care what they. When you're that's when you're gonna care.
Here's the problem. Here's the strategy problem that the Democrats are gonna have to face. Number one, you gave total authority to the executive office to do whatever they want to do. Total authority. When there's a shutdown, all the authority goes to the White House. Now, some of them people will never be coming back. They will never be coming back. And that's law. Let me finish.
Trump has said if they don't
Let me finish. You can't have a King's rally, then shut the government down and literally by law give him the power. That's what they just did. They gave the executive office the power to change the departments while the government is closed. And technically, yes, both parties have pulled it. Absolutely. Both parties have pulled it. But this is a different era when you're looking at a different administration that's looking to cut. It's not a political play if you have a lot of fat in the CR and stuff like that. Now I purposely, MSNBC, CNN, CNBC, there's no fat. There's no fat to negotiate. If you're going to hold out, you have to, both parties have to have a bag of goodies. If there's no goodies in the CR, what are you stopping the government for? What are you stopping the government for?
To take the speaker on his word either. So
no, it's a clean, dude. You just heard the press. It's a clean CR. It's just to keep the government open. You heard the press. You heard all of them. Clean CR. Clean CR means there's no fat in it. It's just to keep the government open. That's it. So they could go back in committee and argue all that stuff in committee. But in the process, you did that. Now you gave all the power. You gave all the power to the president. Now a lot of people what they don't understand is why do they need the Democrats vote? Because the Senate operates different than the House. Even though they might, and what he said was true, but it was also BS too. Yes, they control the Senate, but to pass a CR, you need the Democrats' vote. So you need a certain number.
There's a small, they don't have enough numbers by themselves.
Exactly.
They need at least 5 or is it 5 or more Democrat votes.
I had the numbers too,
Well, no,
but I didn't write it down.
Democrats that voted yes, and they needed 5 more, so that might be 8%.
Right, they needed 5 more because Rand Paul, as always, votes no. He never votes yes, right? But at the end of the day, dude, like it's okay. Well, what happened when Chuck Schumer when Chuck Schumer got the people to do it? What happened? He got his ass handed to him. And he did the right thing. He literally did the right thing. Schumer got his ass handed to him. It's not a bill. See, people think it's a bill. It's not a bill. It's just to keep the government open. And and maybe a Democrat or a Republican can explain why can't you just pass a goddamn bill in January to keep the goddamn government open till December or till the next January? I don't understand why you have to keep doing that. It doesn't make no goddamn sense.
Yeah, because it doesn't make sense. Back in the days, we didn't have this over and over and over. So you vote and you only vote. So like you vote now, so you'll keep the government open till February. And then in February, you got to go through this again, and then you keep it open till now they're doing it like every 4 months. Now it's like every 4 months. That doesn't make any sense, regardless of the fact Republicans or Democrat. It doesn't make any sense. But from a strategic standpoint, it's going to be crazy because you got someone that doesn't care in the White House. He doesn't give a fuck. So you're saying your solution is, since he doesn't care, do whatever they want to do. Just give
No, it's not do whatever you want to do. You're not going to change the health care in a CR. Period. A CR is not made to change legislation. It's made to just move the money and keep the government open. That's my point. You can't change it in a CR. You can't do it. Because guess what? It's going to have to go to committee. It's going to have to go back to the finance committee. It's going to have to go back to whatever committee. You're not going to get it changed in a CR. Government doesn't work that way.
Well, the longer there's a shutdown, both sides going to feel it.
Well, both sides going to feel it, but what they're doing is stupid. Come on, man. We're talking about people not getting paid, and you're talking about something that you can't change in a CR. Not after they done passed the law to change it earlier this year. And that wasn't a CR. It went through committee. It got voted out in committee. It went through the floor. It got voted on the floor. Like, we have to really have serious conversation because people are not getting paid.
So I think everybody doesn't understand what a CR is. So
I'm going to read it. I got it right here. I got it right here, AJ. I got it right here. A clean CR means there's no extra policy riders.
I said, what is a CR? You already missed it.
No. Well,
I want to know what a CR is. Okay.
A CR is a continuing resolution. It's a short-term spending bill Congress passes to keep the government funded when the full federal budget hasn't been approved. When lawmakers can't agree on the budget before the deadline, a CR keeps agencies open at the same time, at the same funding levels as before, basically hitting pause on new spending to avoid a shutdown. Now, a clean CR, which everybody was saying it, means that there's no extra policy riders or partisan add-ons, just temporary extension of funding. It's supposed to be the simplest way to keep the lights on while both sides negotiate a longer long-term deal. That's the definition. That's the definition of it. So they have to, so it's a clean, you heard all of them. And the only people that pushed back was at the end, at Squawk Box, which is a financial channel. When they talk finances, they really push back because it's a clean CR. So you can't say you can't negotiate it then. "4 years under Biden." In fact, the wording is from the Biden administration. Well, at the end of the day, bro, that's crazy. Listen, I get they want to fight for health care. I get it. But you're going to have to work across the aisle to do it. Because you don't control the House or the Senate. That's what politics used to be. When I was a union delegate, they worked across the aisle to make things happen. And let me tell you something. The most disgusting thing I ever saw was 2 black men, Jamal Bowman and homeboy from Florida. You have 2 black men, 2 congressmen, 2 great men. And these Negroes sitting here talking about like they gangs, whose party is better. Instead of discussing how can we work together as black men to make sure there's good legislation for black America. These Negroes is down there talking about whose party is better. Like they both in a goddamn gang.
Well, you saw Jesse Ventura's book, right? Did you like this?
No, and I just wrote one. I'm getting ready to put that up. I just wrote one. But that's the mentality. And we got to get rid of that, man, especially as black people, because we barely get these positions. Whether you're Republican or Democrat, y'all Negroes need to work across the aisle, because at the end of the day, you're black. You're black. And let's not be foolish like there was never black Republicans. We got to get it together, bro. But this right here is ridiculous. People will starve. People going to starve because they're worried about, they're trying to do something that a bill was passed. It got passed. That's what happens when you're not in power. You got to work across the aisle. You got to get shit done. Now we at the point that nobody talks to each other.
No, that's what they try to do. Whether you agree or not, they're like, yo, if you don't give us this, we're not going to give you.
There's no passing a bill on a CR.
No, it's saying if you don't give us the vote, if you don't give us what we need on this, we're not going to give you the votes you need.
Fine. Then it is what it is.
And like I said, both parties have been doing that forever. So
no, it is what it is. But here is a clean CR. They can't argue about that. They can't say, look at this CR. It's $3,000 billion going to whatever the Republicans want in that. Okay, I get it. Then you negotiate. But if it's a clean CR, there's nothing there. There's nothing to negotiate. Let's just keep the government open and let's go into committee and debate.
Negotiation is their votes that they need.
Okay, well then fine. Then keep the motherfucker closed. Now listen, bro, keep it closed. Because you're negotiating something that's not there. That's not there. It sounds good, but the reality is bullshit. It sounds good. It really sounds good. But the reality is bullshit. They voted 11 times. So it is what it is. Now the shit is closed. But we have to have that conversation. You worry about the people, then go into committee and debate like fucking adults. That's what people voted for you to do. Not this shit. And look, Republican or Democrat. Nobody voted for you to do bullshit and showboat. While people are suffering, guess what? They still get their paychecks. Huh? APAC Shakur, he still get his paycheck. He still get paid. So his family ain't suffering.
Everybody don't know who the hell you're talking about. Everybody don't know that joke.
Oh, Hakeem Jeffries. We call him, Charlamagne the Guard started that, call him APAC Shakur.
Yeah, Charlamagne the God, AJ, we don't call him that. It's
No, but look, Hakeem Jeffries still get a check. Mike Johnson still get a check. Everybody that voted no still get a check. And you know how it goes. First hired, last hired, first fired. Black people gonna suffer the most. Again. They still get paid, bro. See, and this is what I don't like about politics, because people make decisions and they don't have no consequences from their decisions when it affects the masses of the people.
I said that before. I've been saying that for years. If you're going to shut down the government, that should shut down their checks too. And if they
Ray Jones said Johnson gave up his check.
Okay, I gotta look that up. I don't know whether, but if all of them were not getting checks, the government would be open quicker.
No, and we believe that too. It would never be a shutdown if they didn't get paid either.
But I'm saying even if it got to a point of a shutdown, after that first check get missed, there'd be some.
But it's a bunch of hypocrisy. Because you sit here, you talk about no kings. And you shut the government down. There's
two things. So the people did the no kings thing. The elected officials wasn't out protesting. The elected
hold on.
The congressmen are the ones not voting. All of those congressmen wasn't.
Wait, AJ, they support the no kings rally. So if you're supporting that rally, and then you vote you shut the government down, which by default gives the king more power. By default. By law. Give the king more power, then you're fighting against what you're saying.
John Jones, what I said was all of the elected officials who voted no were not out protesting. That's what I said. Not that there wasn't any politicians. Let's not play with my words now. And you know me better than that, so stop.
Well,
I didn't say there wasn't one. I said all of the ones that voted no, those wasn't the one out there protesting. If there was one or two out there, maybe, but all of them wasn't. So stop that. Don't play with my words. This is me. Don't play with me like that.
No, I don't think all of them was out there, but
said, yes, they were, AJ. The politicians were out there. I never said all of them weren't out there. I just said, so a dude from Connecticut was out there. So you're telling, so all of the Democrats that voted no, you're going to say they was there because one dude from Connecticut. Say one dude from Connecticut. Don't say all the politicians. I said they wasn't the ones who voted no. All of them were not the ones out there protesting. Your response is, yeah, the dude from Connecticut, that's one dude. So let's stop playing with words and move on. Go ahead, Damon. Don't play with me.
But it's a little hypocrisy, right? And that's all I'm saying. And that's because technically that's what they did. But at the end of the day, bro, it's going to be bad for everybody. But people are talking. And when they examine the bill and they see that it's just to keep the government open, you got to explain yourself. You can't sit here and say that, Trump, the Republicans with this and with that. But he does. But still, moving a CR, they're going to need more votes. They're going to need Democrats to vote. And he knows that. But to use that for something that needs to be in committee and debated and voted in committee, moved out of committee, we all watch, it's only a bill, and I'm sitting in a Capitol Hill. That's the process. If they want to change what was voted on and passed earlier this year, that's the process, not a CR.
Right. So I will only say this, and I said this in the beginning. I'm not saying it's right or wrong. I'm not saying I agree or disagree. But when you have no power and that group that is in charge needs you to do something, and that is the only thing you can do, I'm not saying right or wrong. I'm not saying whether they should have did it or not. I'm saying you use what you use, and everybody has done that. So I understand it's a different time, and you keep saying hypocrisy and politics run together like peanut butter and jelly these days. So there's hypocrisy all over the place. So
No,
I'm
I
just
know,
saying,
but
I'm just saying,
it's not.
when you can't win because you don't have the numbers, and you can do one little thing, whether it makes sense or not, you hold it and you do that. That's the only thing. What else can they do? They can't do that. They can't argue. They don't have the numbers.
You know what? You know what they could do? You know what they could do? They can negotiate.
Negotiate what? Them people don't want to negotiate.
Yeah. No. Well, dude, how do you know they don't want to negotiate?
They don't.
How do you?
They don't
No,
want
no.
these.
Listen. They've been to the White House. He said they met with him, right? And they didn't like what they were bringing. So you bring something. You have to have a bag of goodies. That's what I was taught in negotiations. You got to bring something. You just can't be defiant, not when you ain't in the power.
That is the
you have to bring something. Then you got to figure it out, bro. That's not going to do it. Making the whole world suffer, making everybody else suffer is not going to work in the long run. And we'll see. We'll have this conversation.
I don't disagree that this is not going to work.
It's not going to work in the long run
for nobody. But
because the news, the mainstream media, is starting to have the conversation. You could have held out, but you held out for some things that wasn't. Come on.
Good evening, Kemi Poe. How you doing, sister?
And that's the problem. It's gonna listen. It is what it is. And we'll see in midterms, because all this is jockeying for midterm election. We know that. But at the end of the day, it's still a clean CR. I really could understand if it had all type of Republican bullshit in it. Hey, Kimmy, what's happening? I could really understand that. And I will get that. But if it's just to keep the government open and fight your fight.
I'm just speaking from perspective.
I mean, look, and we saw what happened to Schumer. And he did the right thing. At least he thought. Then he started getting primary challenges and all this other stuff going on and all this. Come on, man. Like we just, it is what it is. Good luck to everybody. Because at the end of the day, somebody's going to be at fault. And if the mainstream media is swinging the way it's swinging now and having that type of conversation, is going to be bad for the Democrats in the long run.
I'd say it's going to be bad for everybody.
It's going to be bad for everybody because everybody's feeling it, right? It's going to be bad for everybody.
What I'm saying, and I'm just like, people look at issues how they affect them. So we hear all that, everything. But when you in that little town in that red state or whatever, and your people and your family's not eating and your family's not getting a check, you're yelling at your elected official because they,
do you really, AJ?
You're yelling at your elected official. What?
Do you really think that redneck MAGA in that poor town is going to blame the Republicans?
You're going to blame your elected official. You do something. You do something to fix this shit.
You really think?
Okay.
Do you really think they're going to give heat? But do you really think that they're going to, that MAGA person, that poor white MAGA person.
Let me slow down. Every person in a red state is not MAGA. So
No.
So
That's not what I said. No.
And I never used the word MAGA. You did. Wait, stop
I'm using it.
But you didn't. I didn't use the word MAGA.
No, right. I'm saying it.
So yes, but you're not as what I was saying. What I was saying is, for those in those red states, everybody in a red state is not MAGA. So I never used the word MAGA. And I'm not talking about those.
I'm saying because the base of the Republican is MAGA. The base is MAGA. Do you really think that they're going to?
I'm not answering because that has nothing to do with what I've said. That has nothing. You're making a point that has nothing to do with what I'm saying.
Right, but I'm asking a question. Do you really think
that you're using that to change from what I'm saying? I'm not answering that question because it doesn't deal with what I'm saying. There are people that are not MAGA, in your opinion. I'm not talking about them. Everybody is not a zealot on both sides.
I never said everybody. I asked a question.
And I'm saying there are people.
And I agree.
And those people, when they're hurting enough, the person they're calling, they're not calling Hakeem and Schumer. They're calling that motherfucker that they voted for. That's who they're calling. That's who they will say. Whatever they say in the press, they can blame whoever they want. But the person they're calling is their representative saying, "Yo, fix it. I don't care what you got to do."
And what was the and I can't even remember the dude's name that created the slogan. If you make your followers think that their condition, who Rothschild, whoever said that their condition is the blame for other people. And that's my point. You could think all that want, but they're going to blame other people, just like the Democrats blame the Republicans, the black folks. Our condition is the game works on both sides, my brother. That's the game. So if you really think
you're saying one or the other, I'm saying both things are true. You're saying it's like it's one or the other, and that's not true. Both things are true. People are going to feel how you feel, and people are going to feel like I feel. Both things are true. We live in a world where two things can't be true. It got to be this or that. This is not a this or that situation. That's what's wrong with America now. Everything has to be this or that. It can't be two things are true. So you're not hearing what I'm saying. What I'm saying is going to happen. What you're saying is going to happen too.
And if you think those red states voting a Democrat and is crazy,
I'm not talking about. Stop asking me about shit.
I said red. I didn't say racist. I said red. Them red states gonna stay red. Maybe they get mad at this person. They put another red person in there.
Say they wouldn't turn Democrat. Again, you're saying things I never said.
No. I never said. I made a statement. I made a statement. I made a statement, my brother.
Yeah, but I'm not. That's not what I said.
I never said you said it.
But you're responding to me. But that's your response to me.
No. I'm making a statement. You're taking it as a response. I'm making a statement.
If I said something, you go, no, it ain't. These people ain't going to do that. That's a response. Dude, come on, stop playing with words. There's people who are going to blame and hold their elected official accountable. Yes, they may get another person, another Republican in place. I never said nothing about switching red to blue or nothing like that. But when they're hurt enough, they're going to call the person that they voted for to put in office. Because that's who they got it. Nobody else they can call. Who else can they call?
And I never said you wasn't wrong. I never said you was wrong.
When I said both things are true.
I never said you wasn't wrong.
What I'm saying, but I said both things are true, not one or the other. What you're saying, there's people gonna feel that way, but what I'm saying, there's people gonna feel that too. If the demo agrees to open the government and tries to negotiate the bill and swears the Arizona lady in, don't release the files, what's next?
What files?
I think we're talking Epstein files, I guess.
Well, the Epstein files, they already voted to release some of the files. But the government's closed.
But
the House already voted to release some of the files. The government's closed. So if the Democrats
that might not be coincidental either.
If the Democrat, well, who's keeping it closed?
Everybody.
Who's keeping it closed? If they want it open, get 6 Democrats to get it open and release the files. Not everybody. You can't, because the process is not everybody. It goes to the House. They need a certain amount of Democrats to keep it open, to pass the CR. So it's not everybody. At this point, it's not everybody. It's not everybody. It's the Senate. And they need 5 or 6 Democrats to vote yes.
And again, to make your point, what you said about elections, that's because the Republicans don't have enough numbers to do by themselves. So they can't run around and like, fuck you, because we still need you. And that's
okay. So you can't complain that the files ain't coming out. You can't complain about this.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Huh? No. What I'm saying is all the issues.
I'm saying
because the government's closed.
There's enough blame to go around all across the board.
No. There's always blame in the process of politics. But we're strictly numbers on how it works. The Democrats have to vote yes. If they don't want to vote yes, then the government's going to be closed. The House sent it to the Senate. The Senate put it up for vote. They know they need this amount of number. If you don't, because you want this, you want that, all right, then you own it. Stand on it. But the problem with Hakeem, he's not standing on it.
Hakeem's in the House. You just said the
no, but he's the one talking about it. He's running his goddamn mouth. Schumer ain't saying shit. Schumer ain't said a goddamn thing about it.
Well, Hakeem ain't got nothing to do with what the Senate do.
No, but he's the one on TV talking about.
He ain't got no influence because Schumer ain't giving no comments, and they want to feed the base with what Hakeem gonna say, because that's gonna set everybody else off the other side.
Well, then Hakeem
they put a microphone in his face for a reason.
Yeah, then Hakeem needs to shut up.
But to blame Hakeem, you just said it passed in the House.
No, I'm not blaming Hakeem. I'm not. But Hakeem is the one running his goddamn mouth.
That's because they keep putting a microphone in his face.
Okay, then and he keep doing it like a dumbass.
Well, we can.
So whose fault is that?
We could.
Whose fault is that?
I'm not saying he should be arguing. I'm just saying he's
not.
It's not him keeping. He's not.
No, it's not him.
And he doesn't have no influence, and he has no influence.
Well, then he should shut the fuck up.
That's your opinion.
And he should. No, well, that is because you just said all that, right? And if you don't have nothing to do with it, you ain't even in the Senate, but you on TV all the goddamn time. Right? And you don't want to stand 10 toes down and say, yeah, we did it. We did it because we fighting for the people. You want to point it back to the Republicans, or then you should shut the fuck up. Period. Be a leader. See, that's the problem with the Democrats. They ain't standing 10 toes down. They doing this little silly shit, and they want to bring the Republicans. Stand on it.
He was a leader. His Democrats voted to pass it.
But then shut up. Then he should be quiet.
That's your opinion, though.
No, well, guess what? He looks stupid.
Again, that's your opinion. I'm not saying.
Yeah, but guess what? I can have an opinion, but technically he looks silly because everything that you said, then why are you talking? Why are you talking?
I'm not defending him talking. I'm just saying.
No. I'm responding to what you said.
Yeah. All I was just saying is, something you said, and I was like, okay, he had nothing to do with. If the House approved it, they did what they were supposed to do.
No.
That was the
The
Senate.
House approved it. The House can approve it without Democrats. When it goes to the Senate, why are you talking? Why are you everywhere?
Because he's the opposition party, and the opposition always speaks up.
Right. So,
every country, the opposition party speaks up.
But if you ain't got because Chuck Schumer ain't talking. I tried to find a recent interview with Chuck Schumer. Only thing I found was Hakeem Jeffries, AIPAC Shakur.
Okay, we're gonna stop using Charlemagne the God's words like they are. That's Charlemagne the God.
Well, we're going to use, hold on a second. Mr. AIPAC himself. Look at him right here. Mr. AIPAC himself. Right there. Right there. Look at that, y'all. He's Mr. AIPAC himself. Right at the top. Getting all that money from AIPAC. All right. We got to go to this last story, man. We got to get out of here. So somebody commented. Peace, my brother. How you doing, man? Let me see. Jeff Anderson said, because those files and that bill got something in it heavy, and they know that. Well, I have my own opinion on the files. I think the whole Washington, D.C. gonna fall if them files come out. But that's my opinion. Here we go. Last one. Tish James, as recently, she recently went to court, and here's her response. Here's her response in the court.
Thank all of you. I want to thank each and every one of you. I want to thank you for your prayers. I want to thank you for your emails. I want to thank you for your support. It has strengthened my spirit and it has anchored my soul, and so I want to thank you. But this is not about me. This is about all of us, and about a justice system which has been weaponized, a justice system which has been used as a tool of revenge. This justice system which has been used as a tool of revenge and a weapon against those individuals who simply did their job and who stood up for the rule of law. And a justice system which unfortunately is nothing being used as a vehicle of retribution. But my faith is strong. And my faith is, I have this belief in the justice system, in the rule of law, and I have a belief in America and all of its individuals who have stood with me, not only in New York, but all across this nation. I've heard from just about every jurisdiction in this nation who have said, stand up and be tall. And never, ever cow down or back down or break or bend. So there's no fear today. No fear. No fear. No fear. No fear. Because I believe that justice will rain down like water and righteousness like a mighty stream. Preach. And I'm here to say that my work and my job and all that I do, all throughout my public career, I've stood up for the rights of New Yorkers and Americans, and I will not be deterred. And I will not be deterred. I will not be distracted. I will do my job each and every day, and that's why I'm headed back to New York, because there's work to be done, standing up for the rule of law. God bless you and thank you all, and I appreciate you.
I don't even know what to say, man. So, Black Westchester, we have done extensive reporting on the Tish James. And y'all could go to YouTube. Right. Well, yeah. I mean, there's still allegations, but we have, you know, for people, we have had a defense attorney on numerous times. We have had Sam Antar on numerous times. She has to have her day in court. It is what it is, just like everybody. She has to have her day in court. Is it retaliatory? Absolutely. 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 It's retaliatory. Absolutely. Did she target Donald Trump while she was campaigning herself? Absolutely, she did. Absolutely, she did. She made ads on targeting Donald Trump and going after Donald Trump's children. She made political ads. She went on little talk shows and TikToks, how she was going after Donald Trump. Absolutely. But does that change what she was alleged to do? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. And y'all could go check out Sam Antar. The videos that we have, he done came on, I think, 3 times now, AJ?
I don't know. I wasn't on all the time. I thought he was more than that. But
well, so like these are the things, right? These according to the thing, these are her sworn statements. Second home rider, August 2020, right? The borrower will occupy and use the property as the borrower's second home and maintain exclusive control of the occupancy and power. And her insurance application listed owner occupied, non-seasonal use, right? Her tax return, she reported that it was an investment. And then her New York State disclosures classified the property as an investment, and her tax reported 0 personal use days and thousands of dollars in rental income, which her niece testified that
put that back up. I want to see the last one again. I'm not.
The one on the bottom?
Yeah, I didn't follow that. Yeah.
Right. The New York State, her New York State disclosures. Matter of fact, I got a 4-minute clip. Hold on, if I could find it, with Sam explaining that. And that was key.
You took it down again before I can read
it. Oh, my bad, bro. Here, check it out. While I find the video file.
So we reported 0 personal use days and thousands of dollars in rental income, as cited in paragraph 10 of the indictment. New York State Disclosure 2020 classifies the property as an investment.
Right. And here's
So I was looking at
the power of attorney that.
Huh?
So I've been looking at words. So investment, if you buy a second property, that's an investment. If she's filed it as rental income, that's different. Those are two different things.
Yeah.
So if she just said it's an investment property, your second piece of property is going to be an investment property.
But then she filed it as a rental that she took a loss. Yeah, here's Sam. He explains it better.
Two members of her office saying that she intends to make that property her primary residence. Now, the lawyer claims it was a subsequent document before closing where she reaffirmed that it was going to be a primary residence. But let's put all of that aside. Whatever her lawyer says does not matter because the loan itself was based upon her declaration that it was going to be the primary residence and that both her and her co-buyer, Shamice Thompson, her niece, were going to occupy it based upon that. Right. So it doesn't matter what she told the bank or didn't tell the bank or whatever. The reality is that's the way the loan was underwritten. It was never corrected. She never sought to say, something I should be paying higher interest.
Let me amend this.
What?
Let me amend this. Like she never said, I made a mistake. Let me amend this before I get this benefit for this.
That's correct. I'm glad I'm on the air with you because usually you get these 5-minute things where you go and people, it's very hard to elaborate.
Right.
So I was there for that show, but all the paperwork that I'm seeing from the indictment does not charge her for saying it's primary. They charge her for saying secondary. The paperwork, the indictment says nothing about primary. It says secondary.
It says secondary.
Right. No.
The paperwork. Right.
What we talked about that day and what I've seen since.
Yeah, but
I looked for the word primary because I think at some point she changed that.
Well, she said she changed it, but she didn't get the loan as that. See, I think that's what Sam was talking about. Okay, let's say you did put it in, but the loan that you got wasn't changed.
But she's not being charged for that, though.
No. Well, she's being charged for the taxes. She's being charged because she took out a mortgage that it was supposed to be primary.
Do you have the charges? Like you can put them on the screen. You don't have that thing.
Oh man, that's going to be too much because it's pages and pages. I don't even think I can't even find it at this time. Well, at the end of the day, we know this. We saw the documents of her signing the paperwork. We saw the documents of her saying that that was going to be the primary residence. Correct? Right? Which we know she couldn't have be a primary residence if she was New York State Attorney General because of the fact that she would have to move to Virginia. We saw the signatures.
So she's charged. Even that is not primary too. She's charged with bank fraud, making a false statement to a financial institution.
That's the loan.
The charges stem from a 2020 home purchase in Norfolk, Virginia, where prosecutors allege she misrepresented the property as a second home to secure a favorable loan rate when she instead used it as a rental investment property. James has pled not guilty, blah, 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 blah.
Right, because she put it on her, I think it was her taxes and her disclosure that it was investment property. But then her niece, according to the New York Times, which the New York Times wrote a horrible article, her niece testified she never paid rent. So how are you claiming rental income and nobody paid rent? Now the person that's living there testified, according to the New York Times, Go to the New York Times. You'll want to see. I did a whole breakdown on that news article that the New York Times wrote. Since people wanted to send me that article. And let me say something. Fraud is $1. Fraud can be $10. Fraud can be $20 or $1 million. So if she only benefited $3,000, it's still fraud. It's still fraud, ladies and gentlemen. And she's gonna have to she's gonna have to deal with that in court.
I want to find the thing where she says rental income on taxes.
I think it's in the New York. I think it's in the New York Times article.
She's being charged with receiving a mortgage for a second home, which has a lower interest rate, but instead uses investment property.
Right, and it was her taxes.
I read somewhere that she amended that she wasn't going. That she amended it that she wasn't going to live there. I don't know when this was supposed to be.
Yeah, but she didn't get the loan for that. It doesn't matter. That's what Sam Antar said. It don't matter. You still got the you still got the loan at the cheaper rate as you were supposed to live there. If she was really about that life, she would have canceled the loan. She would have canceled the loan.
So she got the mortgage with her niece. So if she go there in the off season in the summer or something and spends a couple of months there, she did live there some of the time. It didn't say how long she got to live there. It's a second home. It's not a primary home.
No, but she signed the waiver that she would live there. That's what she signed. Like, listen, that's her signature on it. And it was co-signed by 2 people in the AG's office. That's what she signed. We're just going by the documents of what she signed. So that is not even, that's not even debatable. Now, she could say that she sent and she wanted to change the loan, but you still got the loan under the pretenses that you were supposed to live there. I mean, dude.
So
what's
the definition of a second home? Like, these are the things that I've been reading.
No, it's not the definition of a second home. What is the condition of the loan?
Well,
not a definition.
She got the loan, the mortgage for a second home, which has a lower interest rate. So yes, what is the definition? What is the definition of a second home?
No, the condition of the loan.
Same thing. You're just saying the same thing I'm saying.
No. It's not.
Listen, I'm reading something. You keep changing this. The prosecutors claim the mortgage for a second home, in parentheses, which has a lower interest rate. What is the definition of a second home?
Well, I don't know.
That's what I'm saying.
You could have 2 homes, but at the end of the day, the condition was of the loan that she signed that she was supposed to live there.
And now, see, that's why I'm saying I didn't see that part, and that's what I'm asking.
Dude, with the
paperwork we saw was for primary. First off, stop.
No.
No paperwork we saw, and Sam is talking about her primary residence. None of this is about a primary residence.
Well, then
the wording now is second home. So what is the definition in that paperwork of second?
Oh, I don't know.
No. But this is what's going to matter in court.
Oh, absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely.
And all I'm doing is asking the question because I don't know. Like, I'm asking because I honestly don't know. What is that definition? I'd like to know.
Maybe that technicality will let her ass go. because my understanding from what we talked about, what Jonathan talked about, was primary residence.
Right, and
that
none of
was
this, none of the indictment or what the prosecutors indicted her for, what she's being accused of, it all talks about second home. So that's when I started asking these questions, because what we were talking about and what we saw had the words primary, and
that's what the document was.
She's not being charged as that. She's being charged for telling the bank that she received a mortgage for a second home.
But that's not what the mortgage is for.
Which has a lower interest rate, and that's what.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, Tish is going to walk because they fucked it up. They fucked it up, and I'm sorry I had to curse, but
and see that's the question I'm asking, because I was doing that conversation with Jonathan and Sam. I know Sam was on one time, I wasn't, but that conversation I was in on. And the documents that they were shown on the screen were talking about primary, and that she signed this saying that this was going to be her primary.
That's what the documents were.
The two people who witnessed it from her office witnessed it as her primary home. And then I read somewhere that it was amended or something, and what they're charging her for is for saying it's going to be a second home. And she's getting a lower interest rate because it's going to be her second home.
No, she got a lower interest rate from what we understand. And maybe somebody's watching this. I don't know. But what we're understanding is,
I would love somebody who actually somebody talk about this. Yeah,
somebody from the government effed up, because we saw the documents. And the documents was for another primary home.
Did he send you that? Did Sam ever send you that? He sent you have a copy?
Yeah.
No, can you just email it to me? I just want to. This is me.
Yeah, I got to find it.
This is a reporter in me now, just wanting to see words.
Yeah, I got to. You could go right on his website. All the documents is on white collar fraud, whatever. White collar fraud.
Yeah, I'm just saying, if you had it handy, just email it to me.
No, Jeff. There is something there. It is something there. Let's not say it's nothing there.
No, I never see.
No. I'm responding to Jeff. He says because there's nothing there, so the person who wrote the indictment doesn't have experience. No, there is something there. The problem is the person that wrote the indictment doesn't have experience. There is something there. There is a there.
Well, that's what they said. And the person who wrote the indictment doesn't have experience.
Right.
Yes. And he's responding to other reports that the person was illegally appointed because they don't have standing to bring that case. Because I read
that too. But then even though here's the caveat. They're pushing that person didn't have legal standing. But then how do you it was voted on by a grand jury. So do you discount? Does that throw the grand jury indictment out?
Come on, man. With police stuff, you always say you can indict a ham sandwich in the grand jury.
No. Regardless, I'm talking about. I'm not saying whether you could bring an indictment. I know that, but does it throw the indictment out because they're saying that she had no standing to bring to have a grand jury?
That would be a technical. That would be technical.
I don't know. I don't know
because it couldn't have been indicted. It couldn't have went up for indictment if
but a grand jury is voted on. So wherever not.
But that's fruit from the point. If you bring it the wrong way, everything that follows gets thrown out.
Well, I mean, come on, man. Like, it's a grand jury. You can indict a ham sandwich.
Right.
You can bring whatever. But if they try to throw her out, does that actual vote on the grand jury? That's something that's going to have to be, discussed by this judge. And unfortunately, as usual, they put a black man in there, and here we go.
The black man,
and they say that it's a fair. They say he's a good judge. He's a fair judge. He's a no nonsense judge. I've saw that. So we're gonna have to let the process. We're gonna have to let the process work out.
And again, all I'm doing here is asking the questions because I was in the first conversation, and things have changed since that conversation, and I'm trying to figure out what this means now, and what does the actual was there an amendment, because she's not being charged. If she wrote that and that's what it is, and it wasn't charged, that's what she would be charged with, because that's what the paperwork actually says. So when was it amended, and what is the definition of second home? You know what I'm saying?
We gotta find out.
Technically, now there's two things here. So technically, second home, and it's a second home with. So you and your nephew get a second home. Your nephew lives there. That's what this is. That's what this is. It's still your second home. You're a co-owner of that home. The other issue, though, that I want to see the tax part is because if she claimed the home as a rental property, that's different, because the paperwork, I believe, in the loan calls for her not to use it as a rental property.
Exactly.
But the words I'm seeing is her claiming it as an investment. And if you buy a second piece of property, that is an investment. So, like, I'm just saying, in the words, like, there's words being used now, and I want to see how these things play in court. I am not a lawyer.
No. We're gonna have to see.
But these are questions that can be raised. And if I'm thinking this, if she got a decent attorney, he should be able to poke.
It's one thing. I think I got to look back now. I got to look at it. Either her taxes or.
Because that's the one thing I didn't see. I never saw that. I want to see the tax thing.
The taxes or her disclosures, right? Had a rental and that she was getting rent. I think it was her disclosures. Right? Yeah. No, I have to go back. Listen, anybody, we got all those videos with Sam Mantar.
Yeah, I just want to get my hands on it where I can just read it myself. So I just
but I'm talking about the actual
questions that I can't speak on because I don't know what the answer is.
But those are the issues. So those are the contradicting things. Your taxes, the loan, the what's that? The her financials that she has to file as being AG. But he said, "Well, I want her to learn from this mistake and really go after all this nonsense and protect the people of New York and give her she deserves that." No, listen, brother. She needs to learn from that because she's been playing politics with this position for a long time, and she hasn't been doing what she's had been supposed to be doing when it comes to being the top cop in New York State. And that's facts. I'm just keeping it 100. When it comes to police oversight, when it comes to police policies, when it comes to police killing unarmed Black men, she has failed. She has failed. And all you people that be out here talking about Black Lives Matter and police accountability and all this other stuff, y'all have not held her accountable. Not one bit. Not one bit. But you get all emotional because it's Trump.
So,
but she has rocked this investigating Trump instead of investigating these police departments.
So while I agree with some of that, let me just when they do the elections and the presidential elections, they poll people on what their top issues are. For me and you, criminal justice and police accountability are at the top. That is not always the top of everybody else. Other people care about.
No. I'm talking about her doing her job.
No. Let me finish.
I'm talking about her doing her job.
Let me finish. I won't say she didn't do anything. She's done stuff with the gun rights. She's done stuff. She's done some stuff. But one of my top issues is criminal justice and police accountability. And I think she has a failing grade in that. But that's not everyone's top issue. You understand what I'm saying? Like everybody's not, that's not the top of everybody's issue like it is for me and you. So
no, bro, what are you there for?
Huh?
What are you there for? If you're not going to address the issues at hand, then what are you there for?
Police accountability and criminal justice are not the only issues.
Well, no.
Those
Again,
are our top issues. That's what that's the point I'm trying to make.
Bruh. New York State AG. She was supposed to give best practices to all the police departments in New York State. I wasted my goddamn time being and for good cause, being on the Westchester County Reimagining Policing Task Force, where we spent 6 to 7 months putting together a whole report, not just Westchester County, but all the police departments in New York, where her office, Tish James's office, was supposed to put the best practices in policing from her office. She didn't do it.
So I agree on those.
No, I'm not finished. And then when black men get shot, she's gonna refer to overlook the policies in New Rochelle. No, what policies need to happen? What policies need to happen? You are the top cop. You too busy chasing Trump. And then when the Coalition of Police Reform sends her a letter to have a sit down, not just for people in Westchester, but families throughout the state. What is her agenda in dealing with oversight, accountability, and training from the top cop? She never responded. Man, listen, let me tell you something. We sit here, we play games with these Negro politicians. We play games. What's the point of having them there if they're not going to address the issues?
So let me say something.
And one of the biggest issues is police accountability.
Let me say one thing, and then I'm going because it's 8:33, and then you can continue if you want. Yo, my point was, while that is our top issue, that is not everybody else's top issue. And her office and responsibilities are a wide range of responsibility, including enforcing civil rights. Some of this we talk about consumer protection, investigating and prosecuting crimes, overseeing charities and nonprofits, and serving as a public advocate for issues like healthcare, tenants, and investments. Those are a lot of other things other than what we're talking about, which is a concern to us as far as criminal justice. I agree as far as criminal justice and police accountability, I give her a failing grade. But what I'm saying is I can't never say she didn't do anything, because that's just part of the responsibility. That's not her sole responsibility. All of those other things fall under that too. And she has gone after charities and not-for-profits and stuff like that, and some of that other shit. So she has done some of that. So I'm just being clear on, I agree. Public safety, accountability, police accountability, and all of that, those criminal justice reform and stuff like that, those are my top issues. Those are not everybody's top issues. So everyone doesn't see it the way you see it. Those are top issues for me and you, but those are not just her only issues. That she's
do you think why was she more outspoken for the LGBTQ than she was for police violence in black communities when black men be getting killed?
I said,
no, bro.
I give her a failing grade for that. So
we have to stand on our shit. Black people throughout the United States and families put her in office to address that.
I said
it might not be everybody, white folks or things like that, but black. There's a huge coalition in New York that put her in there for that, and she didn't do anything.
I agree with that. We're not disagreeing
on
that.
But I'm not.
That's not her only responsibility.
All that other stuff. Listen, bro, I don't care about that. I don't care about that because black people are being killed. Black people are being killed.
You just made my point, and that's and
Black people are being
I'm
killed.
saying this one last time, and then I'm going.
And then she plays politics with black people's lives.
That is important to you and several people like us.
No,
but that is
that's
not
important to the families that have lost loved ones to gun violence. And it's just not important to me.
Right, but that's not the majority of her base of New York State. So there's some people that's not a priority.
Do anything about it?
I didn't see. You're saying you're not hearing me. You're saying what you're saying.
Heard you.
I agree with you.
I heard you. I heard you.
One last time. I agree.
All right then. But then she need to do her damn job. And just like Jeff said, that's what she get. That's what she get.
No, I agree.
That's what
those issues are important to me and a lot of people that I run with and I roll with. That is not the top priority for everybody, and it's not her only responsibility. Yes, I give her a failing grade and all of that. Understand that. So I'm not arguing with that. What I'm saying is that is not the only reason she was there.
Well, AJ, when do we get when do black people get justice?
I agree on all of that, dude. I'm not going to keep doing the same thing over and over.
No. I'm asking a question. I'm not saying you disagree.
But I'm being fair to the situation.
What is fair?
I'm explaining what her role is. Her responsibility is not just for that. Even though that's important to us, that is not the top priority to everybody in New York State.
Bro, that's part of her job.
Part.
Okay, then
and I gave her a failing grade.
Are we getting what percentage? What percentage of police killing black people? Police not being properly trained, police shooting unarmed black people in the back of the head. What do we get? What do we get? And it's not. I'm just not saying. No. Wait. Let me explain my point.
I gave her a failing grade on all that.
What do we? No, I'm not arguing with you. I'm making a point. What do we get? The DA's office, the AG's office. These are some of the most important. And your judges are some of the most. I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to people that's listening. These are the most important people that we have to vote for. And if they're not going to do justice by black people, and black people need to understand this, we are the backbone of the Democratic Party. And if you don't get justice, you vote their asses out. Stop playing games, black people. Stop playing games. Because if it was anti-Semitism, she would stomp that shit out of any police department and have a press conference about it.
You know what the difference is? Because those people that you just named, as far as anti-Semitic, demand it, and black people do not. And until black people demand some shit, and I've been saying that all through the show.
And there you go.
We need to demand it, and that's on us.
No, dude.
Yeah.
No, my plane landed.
Not me and you. No. About people. Yeah.
No. My plane landed to the point I was getting at. We do not vote for someone that's not going to do what we need in our communities. Agreed. I don't care what color they are. I don't care what party they are.
Agreed.
Negroes don't even think about voting for Republicans, so you can't blame a Republican because of the condition that your community's in, because you don't vote for them. There's no need to even have a conversation about a Republican because Negroes don't vote for them.
Most Negroes.
So your condition is what you vote for.
Most Negroes don't vote for them.
No. I'm talking in black communities. You know what I'm talking about. They ain't voting for them.
Mount Vernon
and many black communities.
Black people in Mount Vernon voted for Trump.
Listen. But ain't no the Democrat running their city. Trump is so far away from the condition of Mount Vernon. You can't blame Trump.
No, I didn't blame Trump, and I'm saying
but you're mixing my point. My point is
there are some black people who vote Republican.
AJ, there's no Republican running Mount Vernon. Period. They could vote for Trump. That's their option. Ain't no Republican running Mount Vernon. All the years that medical waste been burning, been Democrats. And nobody wants to fix it, and then they wonder why their kids got asthma and breathing problems.
So why is some of that on the DA? That's Westchester.
What, the DA? What's the DA's going to do with a building that's burning? What is the DA going to do with that?
Investigate and submit the charges to the AG's office or something?
No, it's up to the local officials. They're allowing it to happen, bro. It's the city council. They make the rules of the city. The DA can't do anything if they're letting it happen. What is the DA going to do?
So what the AG going to do if our local officials is letting it happen? The same thing.
No.
We were talking about the AG, and then you start talking about
what I'm saying. Well, I was talking about local politics and voting for Democrats, and that was a prime example of local politics. Ain't no Republican in sight, period. That's what I'm saying. Ain't no Republican. In many of these cities where black people are at throughout the nation, ain't no Republican in sight. You could barely look. Westchester County got one Republican on the county legislative board. Ain't no Republicans.
Well, they're Republican elected officials in Yonkers and New Rochelle.
Well, yeah, okay. But look at the difference. Look at the makeup of the city. So at the end of the day, we're blaming black people. We're blaming Democrats. We're blaming Republicans. Shit, their shit is a little even better. At least they're getting some economic development. Negro can get a job. The movie places are open to do movies. At least a Negro can get a job. Back to my point is we have to hold our people accountable.
I have not debated that, and I've been saying the same thing. And with that, I'm out because I've been saying I'm out for the last 15 minutes. I'm not trying to do a 3-hour show.
Shit! It's time to go.
I've been saying that shit since 8:20.
It's time to go, man. Everybody. Thank you for listening.
We want to hear from you. Feedback. What do you feel? Drop a comment in the show. When we post it on the website, drop a comment on the show. Drop a comment in the YouTube comments. Which we want to hear from you. What do you think? What do you feel about any of the issues we talked about? Where do you stand on it? What do you feel? We want to hear from you. Because, you're the reason we're still here, still standing 11 years later. So it's all because of all of you. So thank you. This is another issue of Black Westchester Presents the People Before Politics radio show. Simulcasting live on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, X, every Sunday, 6 to 8. And as you see, sometimes after 8. Every Sunday, and then Damon got a whole slew of other things happening all throughout the week.
All right, we out, man, because my wife done called me 3 times, man. We out. Peace and blessings, everybody. Everybody have a black-tastic week. Peace out.
Are you ready to put your brand in front of the people who matter? Black Westchester Magazine is your platform. With over 90,000 monthly website readers and more than 250,000 YouTube viewers every month, we give your business unmatched exposure. From email blasts straight to our subscribers, to video commercials, website promotions, and targeted campaigns, we've got the tools to help you connect, engage, and grow. Whether you're a local business, a national brand, a rising entrepreneur, or just promoting an upcoming event, Black Westchester is where culture, community, and commerce meet. Contact us today or scan the QR code and start building with us. Don't just advertise, be part of the movement, be part of Black Westchester, be Blacktastic. Black America first. Yeah, Black America first. Got a sweet tooth? Come to Cupcake Cutie Boutique in Mount Vernon, where every day is a reason to celebrate. Fresh homemade cupcakes baked with love. Stop by 8 South 6th Avenue and taste the cuteness today. Rep the movement. Get your official Black Westchester merch today. Hoodies, tees, and more at blackwestchestermerch.shop. Wear your voice, make a statement. Damon K. Jones exposes the lies and challenges the gatekeepers in Black politics in his powerful book, Emotional Politics and Logical Failure. Black America needs fewer emotions and more outcomes. Our communities deserve better. On sale now, get the book or audiobook on Amazon, From the Streets of Westchester to the Heart of Hip Hop. Discover AJ Woodson's powerful collection. Black Westchester, the origin story. We got our own thing. Hip hop from the 9, 1, 4, and Black Westchester celebrate Black women of Westchester. Available now at blackwestchester.com and on Amazon. Get your copies today. Tolerance is for Cowards by Damon K. Jones. This book is not anti-police, it's pro-community. Discover how the extended policing strategy empowers you to demand real public safety, justice, and accountability from your local police department. Because the Black community deserves good policing. On sale now on Amazon and Audible. Discover Jesus and Divine Black Masculinity by Damon K. Jones. This a bold blueprint to restore faith, manhood, and purpose in Black America. Because the Black community needs good Black men. Available now on Amazon. If you found this video informative, don't forget to like and share it with others who need to hear the truth. And for exclusive content and behind-the-scenes access, join the Black Westchester Magazine YouTube membership club today. Your support helps us keep independent Black media strong. Big.
This is the People Before Politics show, broadcast every Sunday at 6 p.m. Hosts Damon K. Jones and AJ Woodson bring you the news that impacts our community. Join us for unfiltered, unapologetic coverage of the stories that matter most. Black Westchester Magazine presents The People Before Politics show, the news with the Black point of view.